The difference between someone earning $60,000 and retiring wealthy versus someone earning $150,000 and dying broke usually comes down to 5 line items on a bank statement. Expense number 1 is restaurant spending and food delivery. This one is the most underestimated wealth killer hiding in plain sight. Think about what a modest eating out habit actually costs. If you spend just $50 a week on restaurants, takeout, and delivery apps combined, that is $2,600 every single year walking out the door. The average American household actually spends well over $3,000 annually on food away from home. And delivery apps make it dramatically worse because you are paying the menu price, a delivery fee, a service fee, a tip, and sometimes a subscription on top of all that. You are easily paying 2 to 3 times what the meal costs to prepare at home. The fix is not suffering through boring food forever. It is building a simple weekly meal routine so that cooking at home becomes the default rather than the exception. Redirect even half of that restaurant spending toward investments and run the 30-year math. The number will genuinely shock you. Expense number 2 is the subscription pileup. Right now, somewhere on your bank statement, there are charges you have completely forgotten about. A fitness app you downloaded and used twice, a streaming platform you signed up for during a free trial, a software subscription that auto-renewed. This is not a character flaw. These companies deliberately design their billing to fly under your radar. They count on you not noticing because small monthly charges feel insignificant in isolation. But here is how to reframe it. Pull up your last 3 months of bank statements and write down every single recurring charge, then multiply each one by 12. Seeing annual costs instead of monthly costs changes everything psychologically. Most people who do this exercise find hundreds of dollars in subscriptions they had no idea they were still paying for. Cancel anything you cannot honestly say you used in the past 30 days and schedule a subscription audit every 6 months to catch new ones before they compound. Expense number 3 is the new car payment. This is the one people push back on the hardest, and that resistance is exactly why it keeps making so many people broke. The average new car payment in 2026 exceeds $770 per month. That is over $9,000 per year being poured into an asset that loses value the moment you drive it off the lot. And that is before you factor in full coverage insurance requirements, registration costs, and routine maintenance. If you took that same $9,000 annually and invested it in a boring index fund instead, over a decade at average market returns, you would be looking at roughly $150,000 in accumulated wealth. Instead, most people just drive that money away, literally. Reliable used vehicles that you purchase outright or with minimal financing do the exact same job of getting you from point A to point B. The freedom that comes from having 0 car payments is an underrated form of financial power. Expense number 4 is lifestyle inflation. This is the sneakiest one because it does not feel like an expense at all. It just feels like enjoying your success. You get a raise, and suddenly your apartment upgrade feels justified. Your bonus arrives, and the nicer car feels reasonable. A promotion comes through, and before you even realize what happened, every extra dollar of income has been absorbed by a higher lifestyle. Within months, the raise has completely disappeared into bigger bills, and your savings rate looks identical to what it was before. The antidote is deliberately keeping your baseline expenses disconnected from your income growth. When additional money comes in, treat it as invisible. Route it directly to savings and investments before you ever see it in your checking account. The people who build serious wealth over time are rarely the highest earners in the room. They are the ones whose spending stayed flat while their income quietly climbed. Expense number 5 is convenience fees and bank charges. This category sounds small until you actually add it up. ATM fees from using out-of-network machines, monthly maintenance fees from traditional bank accounts, late payment fees from bills you forgot to autopay, subscription renewal fees you did not notice until after they hit. Americans collectively pay hundreds of millions of dollars annually just to have banks hold their own money. Every single one of these charges is completely avoidable with about 1 hour of setup. Switch to a no-fee bank account. Set up automatic payments for every recurring bill. Stop using ATMs outside your bank's network. The effort required is genuinely minimal, but the savings compound indefinitely because you never pay those fees again. Here is the bigger picture that ties all 5 of these together. None of these expenses individually will make or break you. But when you are leaking money through all 5 simultaneously, month after month, year after year, the cumulative damage to your wealth trajectory is enormous. You do not need a higher salary to start building serious financial momentum. You need to stop the bleeding in these specific areas first. Pick whichever of these 5 resonates most strongly with your current situation. Tackle that one this week, track the results for 30 days. Then come back for the next one. Small, consistent changes in the right categories compound into genuinely life-changing outcomes over time. The money you need to build the future you want is almost certainly already flowing through your hands. You just need to start catching it.